Welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing the Wera Tool-Check Plus. Now, this is going to be my initial impressions unboxing. Now, I've already opened it before because, again, I don't want to stumble and bumble while I'm opening this up and showing you guys what's inside. But I still have all the packaging for you guys so you guys can see what it looks like when you purchase it. Now, I'm going to go over size comparisons, what's inside of here, pros and cons, all that in this video and more. Let's get into it. Now, initially, when I was told to look at the Wera brand, they told me to check out the Tool-Check just because it's a nice starting point for anybody who wants to get into the Wera brand. You can kind of see the build quality. You can kind of see if it's worth investing long term. And so I checked this one out. I got this metric because, again, I have so many SAE sockets. I'm in America. We usually only use, 3/8, 9/16 sockets, but it's nice to have the metric when you do have things that are made in Germany that do come across your lap. So I also wanted to get something metric just so I don't have so much redundancy. You know what I mean? You don't want to have 1,000 of the same thing. So I thought this was a great option to check, especially because it's made in Germany. Who's going to make metric better than Germany? Maybe Japan, who knows? I like the fact that it has, it's a 6-degree fine tooth, it's extra slim, ultra compact, and they went the extra step of making all their sockets color coordinated. Again, it's the extra steps these companies take that make you see that there's quality and you want to invest more into their brand. This also is a 39-piece set. First impression opening it up, this is a lot smaller than I expected. Just checking it outside the box. I thought this was a lot bigger. The Amazon pictures were kind of hard to identify like how large these things were. Obviously, with the screwdriver being on the side, you can kind of see that this is a little bit smaller, but I didn't expect it to be this small. I wasn't sure how far these bits were inside of this housing. So again, it kind of looks like, this is not any slight. I thought this looks like something I buy for my son, my 5-year-old son, but this is nice to have. Having smaller tools to get into confined spaces is definitely a plus, especially because this is a standard 1/4-inch socket. You can put other bits in there, so it's not proprietary, which is nice. All this stuff is laser etched in there. So if you want to replace all these things, you can on the Wera website, which is nice. And again, just the form factor is nice. It feels really good quality build. I usually don't review tools that I think are shoddily made. If you see my reviews, most of the time they're going to be good. It's not because I'm like a shill or something. I just don't think there's no point in reviewing bad tools. People know what bad tools are, and I kind of want to shine light on the good ones. So this feels good quality, right? Just when I opened up earlier, it felt good. I like I said, again, how all this is color coordinated, how all of these fit on to the little housing. And that's kind of difficult to get off initially. So, if it's hard to get off in the beginning, these will loosen up, but it's nice to have it so it's not constantly falling off right when you first purchase it. I purchased tools in the past where, even though they might be expensive, just the thought and process that came into actually making what's housing them wasn't really that thorough. And so things are constantly falling off. And so then, you're losing bits. Especially if you're working, in a large building, you may lose a bit and now you never can find it again. So it's nice to have something that's more thoughts put into the process of actually making the thing that's actually housing all of these products. So you can see right here, you have all your bits. You have a number 3. You have a number 3, number 2's number 1. So you have 1, 3, 2, 3 2's and a number 1. Same thing over here, a number 3. I'm not exactly sure why these are gold. I'm not sure if this is like higher durability or not. I don't really see anything on that, but it is nice to have multiple number 3s, especially when you're doing doors and hardware. Number 2s, obviously, and you have some number 1s, flathead, hex bits, torque bits, and security torque bits, which come in clutch, especially if you are doing finished product, bathroom, doors and hardware. You're definitely gonna need these security bits to take apart partitions and whatnot. So it is nice to have those. Okay, first of all, I like the little ratchet. You can see in the little ratchet, it has everything labeled on here, laser engraved, which is nice. Again, very, very small. It does feel kind of, I feel like a giant holding this thing, but it is nice for confined spaces. It is nice when you have a tight space where you don't have a lot of room for your hand. You definitely can use this. This is definitely gonna be nice. But the one thing that surprised me the most was this apex. I definitely like this apex a lot. It looks like your standard bit, but it does do something that I really enjoy, and that is the magnet in here is nice, and when you plop it in there, just locks in. So when you plop it in there, it just locks in. So you don't have to do the extra work of pulling it tight and then closing it up. You just open it up, boom, it can come out. And then when you just press it in there, that's when it locks. So that's actually pretty sweet. And it feels really good. It feels really snug in there, but not in a way where, you know, you have other brands who make Apexes where you put a bit in there and it's almost impossible to get out. And then now you just have an extension of whatever that bit is because it's almost impossible to get out. I've had some of these, you put a bit in there, and if you don't have lineman pliers on you, you're not going to get that out with your hand, especially if it's newer, you have the oil on there. It's just so hard to get out. So this is actually pretty nice. Again, you pop like this, and there you go. So it's nice to have the Apex with that little screwdriver. So if you do want a little bit more length, and that fits right in there. Again, all of this stuff, it feels like quality. It doesn't feel very cheap. It doesn't feel like they just kind of threw it together. I like how solid everything fits inside of there. If this was a ratchet screwdriver, I think this would be a perfect set. It's not, so I mean, you take it for what it is, but it is nice. Now I want to give you a little size comparison so you can see. Obviously you can see with my hands, but if you're looking at maybe the Klein pass-through socket set, this is significantly smaller, and it's not covered, obviously, so you might have to worry about like rust or getting material inside of here. But the fact that it's not covered gives you, it's just so much smaller, so you can easily fit this in your bags, whether it be in a pouch or a secondary pouch. I'm gonna show you that in a second. Also in comparison, check out like a Makita bit holder. These are on the same size, and so again, look how much you can fit. Look how much you can fit with this smaller form factor. I think this is definitely going to be something I'll definitely keep on my cart or keep in my bags, depending on what kind of work I'm doing. But I think this definitely is clutch. Now, there is the concern that I've had before with bits that aren't housed in a container, enclosed container, especially being in the Pacific Northwest. You want to make sure that you're able to protect your stuff, especially when it's raining a lot, you're working with concrete. So I think that the holstery pouch is definitely perfect for this. You can fit that inside there, and then you just pull this back right here, lock all that in. So if you're worried about maybe damaging this thing or getting this thing covered in, you know, rain or whatnot, you could definitely do that. I think that's nice. It kind of gets away from, you know, worrying about like taking a nice product or tool into the field, having some kind of container or pouch. Also, if you don't want to spring for the holstery, I think Temu has something similar. They have a little pouch too that's kind of janky, but it's going to do the job, especially if you invested a good amount of money. This is about 60 bucks. I bought this for about $65 online. So if you want to keep this pristine, you're definitely going to want to have it covered up in your bags, because you don't want, you know, things get chipped or broken or one of these things popped off because you have it directly in your bags. We have different, like, you know, tools we're putting inside of our bags, kind of throw them in there, especially if we're running and gunning. So it's nice to have a designated space for it. Again, so this is the Temu pouch. You can store that inside there. Same thing as a holstery, but it's just not built as good. So, I mean, if you're going to be cheap, if you feel like you only have a little bit of money and you want to invest into the tools and not the pouch, that's there. That's your size comparison. Now, pros and cons. I don't really have a lot of cons. It's just small. You know what I mean? If this is not something you're looking for, especially we're talking about smaller jobs, if you need more leverage, I definitely would go with the bigger wrenches. But overall, this is meant for a certain job. Again, I don't get mad at a screwdriver for not being a hammer and vice versa. So this fits its purpose. Even just the bits itself and the sockets are probably going to run you around, you know, $35, $40, depending on where you buy them at. So just having the extra wrench, the extra screwdriver and wrench and Apex for probably about 20 bucks, I think it's worth it. I think it's a good quality product, and I think I'm going to invest more in the Wera brand in the future. So, and that is my initial review of the Wera Tool-Check Plus. Now, I really enjoyed this product and I cannot wait to take it on the field. But like I said before, it's hard to find this locally, so you have to hit that Amazon affiliate link. Again, I get a small commission, and that helps go towards buying more tools for you guys to review. I appreciate you guys. If you made it this far, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate you. Check you out the next one. Peace.